Hey, I'm Christopher Marin and I run the Lost Plant Remedies YouTube channel. My family has worked the same patch of ground for 7 generations. I grew up learning that most of what keeps a household going does not come from a shop. It comes from knowing what to plant, what to preserve, what to keep, and what to do when the shelves are suddenly empty. I still have the leather journal my great-great-grandfather Samuel Marin kept. It is filled with the things his family could not afford to forget. Which plants drew infection from a wound? How to store roots through winter? How to preserve food without electricity? Which animals could feed a household from scraps and pasture? How to turn sap, seed, bark, fat, bone and garden waste into things most of us now buy in bottles, packets and plastic tubs. That journal taught me something important. Our people were not helpless before supermarkets, pharmacies and supply chains arrived. They knew how to make a life from what grew around them, but somewhere along the way those skills stopped being treated as knowledge. They were dismissed as old-fashioned, inconvenient or unnecessary. The garden became a lawn, the pantry became a cupboard of packets, the family remedy became a branded bottle, the chicken, the milk cow, the root cellar, and the preserving jar disappeared from ordinary homes. The knowledge did not vanish because it stopped working. It vanished because each forgotten skill created something new for somebody to sell back to us. That is why I started making these videos. Most people look at a weed growing beside a fence and see something to pull. They do not see the food, medicine, dye, soap, cordage or animal feed their grandparents may have taken from it. They see a jar on a supermarket shelf, but not the simple method that once produced the same thing in a farmhouse kitchen. They see convenience. They do not see the dependence hidden inside it. On this channel, we recover that missing knowledge one piece at a time. We look at the plants your people grew and the remedies they trusted. We look at the foods they fermented, the animals they kept, the seeds they saved, and the household systems that allowed an ordinary family to endure a hard winter without waiting for a delivery truck. We follow the dates, the records, the named companies, and the moment a skill disappeared from common use. Then we bring the practical part home. I do not want to tell you that your grandfather preserved food differently and leave it there. I want to show you how he did it, what it cost, what could go wrong, and whether the method still makes sense today. Some old practices were brilliant. Some were dangerous. Respecting the old ways means telling the truth about both. I know some of these videos move quickly. We may cover 7 forgotten plants, animals, or household skills in half an hour. The deeper investigations are coming too. Single plant histories, complete preservation methods, forgotten farm systems. The real stories of the families who kept these practices alive when almost everyone else walked away from them. Those stories deserve time. I have had viewers tell me they came here looking for one garden remedy and ended the evening reading seed catalogues, clearing a pantry shelf, or asking an elderly relative what their family used to grow. That is when I know a video has done its job. I cannot take all the credit for what we cover, because many of the best subjects come from you. Someone will mention a plant their grandmother kept beside the kitchen door. Someone else will remember a breed of chicken that once lived on every farm in their county. Another viewer will describe a jar that sat in the cellar for 20 years and ask what was inside it. I read those comments. They are not just suggestions, they are fragments of a living record. That is how this channel works. You tell me what your people grew, raised, preserved or made. I follow the trail through journals, agricultural records, old newspapers, scientific research, and the companies that eventually replaced it. Then we sit here together and recover the part of the story that modern life taught us to overlook. This has become something I did not expect. It is no longer just a collection of videos about plants and forgotten remedies. It is a community of people who do not want useful knowledge to die simply because it no longer comes with a label and a barcode. People who want a pantry that holds more than 3 days of food. People who want their children to know that medicine can begin in a garden. People who believe an old seed, a handwritten recipe, or a lesson from a grandparent can still have value in a modern home. That is really something. So that is me. That is why I make these videos. I have spent a lifetime watching skills that sustained families for generations get packaged, renamed, and sold back to them. I genuinely enjoy uncovering what came before, and I'm glad you're here. Thanks for watching. I will keep digging as long as you keep remembering. This channel follows the old knowledge, not the modern label. All right, friend, I will see you in the next one. Keep the old ways. They kept us.